I'll try to keep this chat open too.
Yeah, let's get the chat party
Wait,
started.
can you wait like 1 minute? I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, you can come back, but we just people are coming in. There's
All right.
30, 40 people. Come right back. So hey everyone, we're just about to get started with our webinar today. The subtle art of one person nonprofit marketing. I'm sure there are a lot of one person or small teams in the room, and we're so excited to have you. So I can't wait to get started. So I want to make sure that our chat is on. So attendees can chat with everyone. Go ahead and just drop me in the chat where you're from and what size your marketing team is. My name is Candace, and I'm the digital events manager here at Community Boost. Community Boost is a digital marketing agency for nonprofits. So we work with nonprofits of all shapes and sizes to help them scale their digital marketing. All right, and there's so many people in the chat already. Macy's from, oh my gosh, there's people from Dublin here. We have Jackson, Texas, Indiana, team of 5, team of 1. So yeah, lots of small one-person teams in the room, team of 4. Eric, you've been on a small marketing team yourself, right?
That I have, yeah. Small team, big team, whole shebang.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited. There's over 100 of you already in the room. Before I turn it over to your amazing speaker, Eric, in just a few. Lauren, you're in Brooklyn. I'm in Brooklyn too. Okay. Anyway, before I turn it over to your amazing speaker in just a few minutes, I just want to let everyone know that this webinar is being recorded. You're going to get the recording in your inbox tomorrow, along with any resources we mentioned during the webinar. We'll also send you all of the slides so you don't miss a thing. So we're going to get started in just a minute here. So keep that chat coming. We're going to keep an eye on the chat and put all of your questions for Eric in the Q&A pane. We'll have about 15 minutes, maybe 20 at the end, to really work through all of your questions. But we are so excited to have Eric here today to take it from here, going over the subtle art of one-person nonprofit marketing. If you are not familiar with Eric, Eric is the program manager here at the Community Boost Accelerator. So Eric has deep marketing expertise, both in the for-profit and nonprofit worlds. He's helped scale venture-backed startups and personally managed $5 million and more in ad spend for some of the biggest nonprofits in the world. In his free time, he likes to make ceramics, surf or try, read books, and do yoga. He loves nonprofits, and he loves all of you that are here today. So Eric, thank you for being here.
Wow, thank you, Candace. That was a that was a lot of intro, and I hope I live up to it. But I'm super excited. This is gonna be great. Thank you all for turning out, and I'm honored that you devoted an hour or maybe less, maybe more of your time today. So I appreciate it. Please keep the chat active and ask any questions you have in the chat. I want to make this a collaborative experience, but I'll go ahead and dive in. Let's see. All right. Let's take it away. So the subtle art of one-person nonprofit marketing, an easy and proven approach for one-person teams whose bosses still might use a BlackBerry. So I'm excited for this presentation. This is kind of the culmination of a whole bunch of work that we've done at Community Boost, working with larger teams and smaller one-person teams for a really long time, seeing the same problems over and over and over again, and then finally coming up with solutions to them. So I'm excited to share with you today. It's been the kind of stuff that we are teaching here and that we teach in our accelerator program have been super helpful to a lot of orgs already. So I'll go ahead and take it away. So just a quick background on who we are. Community Boost, we're a digital marketing agency that exists to empower social ventures changing the world. Super simple, we're just a marketing agency that does marketing for nonprofits. And we've learned over 11 years how to do it really well. our goal is to work with 500 organizations this year and help them raise over $50 million. We also have our nonprofit marketing accelerator, which is a accelerator program where we teach you all the strategies and tactics that we run for our clients on our agency side. That's what I run, what I'm a part of, but that's who we are. We've done a lot of nonprofit marketing for 500 orgs for over 11 years. So we've learned a couple things. Myself, I won't go over this again. Candace just shared my intro, but I'm excited to talk. We have a quick poll. I know y'all put in the chat as well, but if you want to take a quick second, and we can just understand kind of who we have in the room. If you're a one-person team or from a bigger org. Michelle, I love the mission, by the way. I'm a big surfer. Thank you. It's essential work.
We have a lot of great responses coming in. We have 66% participation. Oh, we're at 70.
Let's get those numbers up.
Yeah. All right, we'll give everyone just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get your answers in, and we're gonna end the poll. We'll share the results. Okay, cool.
Amazing. All right, fantastic. Yeah. A lot of people from a one-person marketing team, a couple from a bigger one, and a lot of EDs doing it all. I love it. I want to shout someone out right now. We have Pamela Burnt in the chat from Wild Rivers Land Trust. Pamela is a current accelerator member. Everyone say hi to Pamela. She does really great work, and she is one of the one-person marketing teams. So shout out Pamela. Thanks for being here. Let's take it away. This is great. All right, so to kick it off, why are we here, right? The reason we're here, the reason we built the accelerator, the reason we exist as an organization is because of this problem, right? It's never been harder to be a one-person marketing team in our eyes. On one hand, it's harder than ever to drive results. We have a more crowded market, and people's attention is competed for by more and more people with more and more money and resources. There's a recession inbound, and the tools that we need to use to get the results that used to be easier are getting more and more complicated with the way technology is changing, right? It's never been harder to drive the results that we need to drive to serve our communities. And at the same time, we're asked to hit those results, which have never been harder to hit with less. We have budget cuts, we have less team, and oftentimes we work with bosses who don't understand marketing, right? So it's never been harder to be a one-person marketing team. Go ahead, throw in the chat really quickly. Does this resonate? You guys think, oh, Eric, you're wrong. It's actually never been easier. Let me know how this resonates. Joshua says yes. Sahadul, Haley, fantastic. So, right, it's never been harder to be a one-person marketing team. You all totally agree. And this problem gets even worse when you understand the compounding cycle that it causes, which is it's harder than ever to drive results. And we're asked to do more with less. Because of that, we miss our goals because we're asked to achieve those harder goals with less. Because of that, we get access to less resources. Because we miss our goals, and because of that, we get even further away from our goals, right? So it's this compounding cycle that just gets worse and worse in each iteration. Each iteration, the gap gets wider. The distance between where we are and where we need to be to hit our goals just gets further and further and further. So I want to ask the chat again. I want to ask the chat again, just throw in why. Does anyone have any ideas, or this resonates with you, right? It's never been harder to be a one-person marketing team and to get marketing results. What's the reason why? Any takes? Time and capacity. Lack of resources, no time to do it. Oh, here we go. We're getting a bunch. Too many platforms, having to do everything. Too much to do. We aren't structured for success. Forced to be a generalist, shifting goals. Technician and visionary. So many things that need attention. Understanding limitations. Prioritizing. I love that, Brandy. That's great. Lots of change too. Love that as well. Ever-changing algorithms. Yep, 100%. Cool. So I agree with all of those. From our perspective, so much change in the platforms. Yep. Technology. From our perspective at Community Boost and the Accelerator, having worked with hundreds and hundreds of organizations and talked to a lot of them and understood really deeply what their specific problems are, what we would say is the core reason, when you really get down to it, the core reason that it's never been harder to be a one-person marketing team is technology. And so it's over the past 20 years, it's undeniable how much technology has changed the entire landscape of our world and how quickly it's continuing to change, right? We have Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp platforms that didn't exist 15 years ago that now touch more lives every day than any major religion, movement, or book in the history of mankind. Google, which has literally categorized the world's information. And the craziest one to me is an AI model now that's growing and getting more powerful every single day, that with ChatGPT and OpenAI, that has literally passed the bar exam, scored on the top 5% of the GMAT, and has outperformed graduate students at Wharton School of Business in their final exams. And it's just getting started. So we think the core reason is really technology and how exponentially it's changing the entire world we live in. It's really like a wave that's moving through our entire landscape, and we have a choice as marketers. We can either ride the wave and continue to move forward, or we get left behind. And if we get left behind, we get caught in that vicious cycle where it gets harder and harder, and the results are even further away. Right. The reason it's never been harder to be a one-person marketing team is this unstoppable revolution, digital revolution, and these digital tools. Let me know, throw in the chat. Do you agree with this? Does this make sense? Lots of yeses. Amazing. Yeah, and we feel as one-person teams, especially without the resources of a manager who can tell us and help us learn these technologies and these tools, or honestly any really good resources, we're stuck to try to get in front of this wave and to ride it. We're stuck reading blog posts that are shitty, excuse my French, reading blog posts, YouTube videos, and a boss who doesn't understand marketing, which is just like we're not equipped to get in front of this wave, which is I think why this resonates so much. And we've heard this from hundreds and hundreds of orgs that we've talked to, right? And this, once you understand this root cause, it helps us understand this vicious cycle more clearly, right? Because it's harder than ever to learn these digital tools. Because of that, we don't learn how to utilize these channels. Because we don't learn how to utilize them, we miss our goals. And because of that, the results we need, the gap between now and the results we need grows. And because of that, it's even harder to learn these tools because we need to get more out of them more quickly. So really what happens is the gap between our expertise and where it needs to be to get the results we need, the gap in our knowledge grows and grows and grows. And we feel like we're getting left behind from this digital wave that's running through our organization. And it sucks because we feel like we're behind, and it's overwhelming to be able to learn all of these things, right? And to be fair, like I said, as a one-person team, it is unrealistic to expect you to learn all these tools with what you have right now at your disposal, which is, like I said, blog posts, YouTube videos, a boss who doesn't understand marketing, maybe talking to some friends in the industry. These tools are changing so quickly without someone who knows them really well. It's really, really hard to learn them on your own while you have all these results and deliverables that you have to get accomplished, right? And we all agree that that's true. While that's true, we look at technology as a double-edged sword. Really, it causes a problem on one hand, which is it's making it impossible to achieve the same results by doing the same work. But at the same time, these tools are incredibly powerful, right? We talked about ChatGPT, which can literally pass the bar exam. We talked about Google and Facebook, which have access to every single one of your donors, right? Billions of monthly active users. We talked about Google, which categorizes the world's information, and the tools like the Google Ad Grant for $10,000 of free ad spend each month that you can use to show up when people are searching for your organization. These tools are incredibly powerful. And if we can learn how to use them, we can get results as one person teams that, 10 years ago we could only dream about. So there's incredible potential to learning these tools as well. And that's what I want to focus on in this presentation, is how we can use these tools to get results that we could only dream about 10 years ago. That's why, we would say the reason it's not the reason it's never been hard, it's the reason it's never been a better time to be a one-person marketing team is this unstoppable digital revolution. Who agrees with this? Who is feeling fired up? Who's feeling energized? Who's feeling, yeah, this is a great time to be a one-person marketing team. Let's utilize these digital tools and get on the right side of this wave. Awesome. Amazing. So, and this isn't just me talking. I just want to go through a couple examples just to say, right, it's never been a better time. Here's just examples of proof that these tools work, because so often, as a one-person team, we can believe that we need to make a change in our organization to put the resources necessary to invest in these tools, but we need to convince other people, whether it's convincing, yourself that you need to dedicate the time necessary to learn them, or if you need to convince your boss or your board to give you resources to invest in these tools. And what you need as proof, enough proof to be able to convince your board is examples. So I'm going to run through a couple. The best organizations in the world at marketing, they run Facebook and Instagram ads. They do fantastic email marketing, and they run Google ad grants to show people searching for their organization. Feeding America, the same thing. Facebook and Instagram ads, email pop-ups to capture email addresses and conversion design, and Google ad grants to find people searching for their organization. Nature Conservancy does the same thing. Facebook and Instagram ads, email marketing, SMS, using the Google ad grant, $10,000 a month of free ad spend to $10,000 a month of free ad spend to show up for people searching for your organization, right? All the best organizations in the world use these tools. Oh, there's something funky. There's something funky with our formatting on these slides, by the way. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but so apologies for the way this one looks. But even at Community Boost, right, we work with 500 plus organizations. All of them that we work with are using these digital tools to scale online revenue and impact, and have used them to raise over $50 million. We see the results of investing in learning these digital tools work day after day after day. I don't want to bore you, so these are just a bunch of examples of case studies. We have these on our website. San Diego Foundation, Google Ad Grant for donor advised funds, Elijah Rising, use Facebook ads to get awareness and generate leads. Esophageal Cancer Action Network, they spent $875 to get 600 total registrants for their virtual 5K, had a 75% increase in overall donations. Covering Kids and Families of Indiana, here are some of their results, and there's just a bunch more that I don't want to bore you with. At the risk of sounding kind of ridiculous, there's so many examples of these tools working that I can't fit them all on one page, right? And I don't say that to brag. The reason I share this is because a lot of times I've seen we have to go and advocate to get the resources necessary to invest in these digital tools, and I want to show proof that you can hopefully use when you get the recording of this presentation to share with your organization. Thanks, Pam. I'm going to try to speak more slowly. Sometimes I get excited about this stuff. I do it all day. So I'm sure what y'all are saying now is, okay, it works. I saw a bunch of examples, obviously, but how can I learn these tactics as a one-person team, right? I'm sure that's what you're saying. Put in the chat if that is what you're saying and you want to get into the meat, which is how we can execute. Amazing. Anyone, and also if you could put in the chat or the Q&A if you have any. We're wrapping up the first section of the presentation, which is kind of where we're at and why this is really important to focus on. Does anyone have any questions about the first part of the presentation, or do we want to get into the meat? Go ahead and put those in the Q&A if you have any. People want the meat. Let's do it. All right. So oftentimes, and this is from talking to hundreds of organizations, this is the spectrum that you have about how you feel as a one-person nonprofit marketing team, right? Too many, and we've talked to hundreds, and too many that we've talked to feel like they're on the left side of the spectrum, where they're banging their head up against the wall trying to set up a Facebook pixel. They're spending thousands of dollars on failed experience, and they're spending countless hours Googling nonprofit marketing advice that just doesn't work and isn't helpful, right? And so the reason we created our nonprofit marketing accelerator is to get you to the right side of this presentation, to give you really clear clarity of the strategies to focus on and the channels that you should prioritize. Now, the best marketing teams and the ones that get on the right side of the spectrum, they know what the right things are to do, and then they learn how to do them, and they prioritize and they say no to everything else. I saw a lot of prioritization. What prioritization really is if you look at the difference between these two graphs, it's less lines, less movement in direction that isn't towards your goal. And the best marketing teams are able to say no to the strategies and tactics and channels that don't work. It's easier said than done. How do we say no to the wrong things and only focus on the right things? This is what we came together on as our Community Boost Accelerator framework. So this is the culmination of us talking to hundreds of organizations. It's the culmination of our agency working with 500 plus organizations, helping them scale online revenue and impact. And since we launched our accelerator program, this is the framework that we use to help people get from step 1 to step 5, to get from the left side of this graphic to the right. And this is what we're going to dive in the meat. So the first piece of what you need to do to get from the left side to the right is to set your really clear foundations. Understand who you're marketing through really clear persona development, and how to elicit emotions with them through the reimagined nonprofit marketing funnel, which is how to elicit emotion on each stage of the supporter journey. This is really important because it helps you understand exactly who you want to market to and no one else. After that, you map your supporter journey, which is understanding how you're marketing to a supporter on each stage of them supporting your organization. And then what that allows you to do is understand the gaps in your marketing and prioritize which channels to execute a why, and then in the execution and optimization. It's a 5-step framework. The first step is setting your foundations. So understanding who you're marketing to. There's a lot here, and in all of this presentation, I won't be able to get to everything, and I really don't want to overwhelm you. So I'm just going to focus on the most important pieces and try to keep it simple and clear. So the first step is understanding who you're marketing to. And the way we do that is through our nonprofit supporter persona. Who in the chat has a persona right now? And have they found it valuable? Natalie, great.
Eric,
Yeah,
for those who don't know, can you describe what a persona is?
Yes, I'm just about to. It's amazing. So nonprofit supporter persona really clearly is just, and I'm happy some of you have one already and some of you don't, so I'll try to make this apply to both. It is just an avatar of who our best supporters are, and it's documented somewhere, right? And so just an avatar of who our best supporters are. Oftentimes they have names. With one of our accelerator members, the name was Farmers Market Franny, and she's a post-retirement person who lives in their geographic area. She goes to farmers markets and she supports their organization for X, Y, and Z reasons. So that's what a nonprofit supporter persona is exactly who your most ideal supporter is. If you already have supporters, you know likely who your best supporters are and who are most excited to support your organization. The next step is to document that in one place for 2 reasons. One, because what gets documented gets optimized. And so you can continue to improve who you're targeting. And two, because when you have a persona delineated, it allows you to say no to marketing initiatives that focus on people who don't fit your ideal persona. And so this is our document that we use internally at the accelerator to develop your persona. We basically give them a name, demographic traits about who they are, their evil problem in the world that you're solving and why specifically it's evil to them. And then the heroic solution to that problem and why it's heroic. And then I really like to document what the objections they might have to supporting your organization, right? How do I know this money is going to the right place? How do I know I can trust you? How are you better than X, Y, or Z other places where I could send my money or time or treasure? And then their core motivations for supporting you. I can share more details here, but I don't want to get overly stuck. The core point of this is it's really important first to understand exactly who you want to market to as an organization and who your ideal persona is, so you can focus on that persona. Some people think, oh, there might not be enough of that person. With the internet, there are. So focus on a persona, make it really crispy and clear for exactly who this person is, and ideally base this on someone who you know and who's already a supporter, and talk to them and get their feedback on this to make it a better document. And you can share this with the rest of your team to align them on, hey, this is who we're going after as new supporters as we look to scale. And it'll give you clarity and it'll allow you to say no. So that's the first piece, understanding who and your persona. The next piece is, after you understand who you're marketing to, map your supporter journey, which is how that person interacts with your organization. So real quick, any questions about the persona piece? Is that any? Oh, we do have some in the Q&A. I'm just going to take a second to read these.
Yeah, I love Dodie's question, which was like, is a persona a target market? And so I just responded that it's basically like taking your target market and then turning them into a person. That way it's like way easier for you to speak to a person than just a generalized audience. Eric, feel
Exactly.
kind of
Yeah.
great on that, but
Exactly. And it allows you to all get on the same page. And that document, which you'll have in this presentation, is a great way to do that. And to have like a specific person. Chris, you just asked how many personas can you have? I would almost always recommend having just one, depending on the scale of your organization. But again, the point of this is prioritization. And being able to say no. So I'd recommend just having one, and almost always it makes sense just to focus on that core persona, unless you're a much larger organization with a lot more resources.
yeah, I think the more segmentation you do, the more personas it makes sense to have. But I think it's hard if you're, definitely like a small team just trying to make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go into step 2. So after we understand who the supporter persona is, who the exact person that we want to market to and build a relationship with is, how do we map our supporter journey? So mapping the support journey is the next step. We work in marketing, and marketing is human to human marketing, no matter what, right? So all it is building relationships with people at scale who will support your organization in one way or another. And the best metaphor that we have for relationships is actual romantic relationships. So we like to structure our marketing along the same lines. We see too many organizations, and we would do this a lot at Community Boost in the past too, which is you jump straight into asking someone to marry you on the first date, which is basically the second someone finds out about your organization, hey, give me money, donate to us, support our organization, immediately off the bat, right? Which is good. Sometimes, depending on the type of person and if it's a very specific ask for, disaster relief or something along those lines. But almost all the time, it makes more sense to, you don't ask someone to marry you on the first date. You talk to them, you get to know them, you build a relationship, and then you can ask them to marry you, and that can turn into a long-term monogamous relationship, which can be much more valuable for both parties. So that's how we want to map our marketing. And the way we do that is our nonprofit supporter journey, which goes through the stages of awareness, engagement, subscription, conversions, enrollment, and empowerment. Really simply, awareness is seeing each other for the first time. How does someone find out about your organization? In the metaphor, it's, when you first see someone else for the first time. Engagement is actually talking to them, building contact. That is, once someone lands on your website, what do they see on the website, and what type of communications do they get from you to start? And then one of the biggest pieces is getting them from engagement to subscription, which is how do we go from engaging to subscribing? And subscribing is, in the dating analogy, yeah, here's my number, let's keep texting or talking. For your organization, it's I resonate with the work that you're doing. I want to keep hearing from you. I'm going to subscribe to your newsletter or to SMS updates. So this is a really big piece. And then after they've subscribed and you start sharing more about them, how many of those people that subscribe convert? And for most of us, this is going to be donating for the first time, but there's a bunch of different ways this can look. And then after they convert and go on the first date, how do you excite them to go on more dates, right? After they donate for the first time, how do you make them extremely happy they donated and they want to continue donating, right? How are they clear that their donation made an impact and they want to continue choosing your nonprofit to donate to? And then this is where the dating analogy breaks down. It's how do we get them, after they've donated a lot, to become a recurring supporter and to tell more friends and family about your organization, and to empower them to help you do the amazing work you do and to make your job easier because they tell more people about you and spread word of mouth. So this is the supporter journey. This is the core of so much of marketing. After we understand who our persona is, we can put that into this supporter journey in a documented fashion, which is how do we get this person aware? How do we engage, subscribe, convert, enroll, empower? And again, you'll get this after the presentation, and I would really recommend filling this out. You don't need to be super detailed. The core idea is just to document this so you have it in one place. And in the process of documenting, you'll find where your gaps are in this supporter journey. They might be awareness. We just need to get more people aware of our organization. We're getting a lot aware of us, but we're not engaging them effectively. Or we're getting a lot of people to engage, but they're not subscribing, or we're getting people to subscribe, not convert, et cetera. Or, they're donating once and not donating again. And this will allow you to understand the gaps in your supporter journey and understand quickly which ones you think you should fill. And also just the process of going through this, you can be like, oh, maybe we're asking people to marry us right away. And that's not good. Also, concurrently, you might look at this and say, oh, we just do awareness to subscription. We don't even do engagement, which is totally fine. The whole point of this is just document it in one place so you have it, because what gets documented gets optimized as a team, and it can allow you to get really clear with the rest of your organization on what you're focusing on doing in the next coming months and quarters and years. What do y'all think about this? Is this helpful, understanding the dating analogy of nonprofit marketing and our nonprofit supporter journey? Or is it helpful? And are there any questions about this specifically? Awesome. All right, so let's keep going. We've done foundations and we've mapped the supporter journey. We understand who we're marketing to and how we're marketing to them and where the gaps might be. The next step is prioritizing our gaps, right? I heard prioritizing a lot. It's so common. I want to answer Anna's question really quickly. An example of engage, I would have thought engage comes after subscribe. It really just depends on the organization. Oftentimes we see engagement work in social media and just having a really engaging website design. After they subscribe, you need to keep engaging them to get them to convert. But really what we mean by engage is after they become aware of you for the first time, how can you be engaging enough to earn them, subscribing to you, which is giving them or giving you their email or their phone number to continue to hear from you. Let me know if that's helpful, Anna, or if that makes sense. Anyways, back to this. We have gotten the first two done. The next step is prioritizing, right? How can we say no to the wrong channels and prioritize only the most effective channels first? So after we've mapped our supporter journey, we understand the gaps in our journey, and we should have a couple, right? Filling awareness, filling engagement, or we need to get people to subscribe, or we need to get people who donated to donate again, right? We need to prioritize which gaps to fill first. The way to do that first, and go ahead and take a screenshot of this if you want, again, you'll get this after, is to understand all of our tools that we have at our disposal so that we can understand which tools to start utilizing first. This is kind of a huge list of all the tools we have at our disposal. Most of the time, these are really the tools that are most important for the organizations that we work with. The first is the Google Ad Grant. It's $10,000 a month of advertising spend we can use to show up for people searching for our organization in Google, right? So if you don't have the Google Ad Grant, this is I would say the very first place to start. It's free advertising spend you can do to reach new people searching for your org. Next is paid Facebook and Instagram ads, which you can use to hyper target new and valuable supporters. You can also use them to reach and engage existing supporters who don't open emails or engage with you through other channels. And then you have organic social, which I'm assuming a lot of you do, which is just how do you create interesting content your supporters engage with, mostly in the engagement and subscription piece. And then conversion design, which is how do we design our website to convert as many people as possible and get them to subscribe. Oops, I put organic social twice. And then email marketing and SMS, which is really important. How do we use email marketing to effectively and efficiently engage and convert supporters? So these are really the main tools that you're going to be using, with the main emphasis on the Google Ad Grant, paid Facebook and Instagram ads, and email, and also conversion design. And once you understand these tools and where they fit, this is where they fit into each stage of the journey, right? Paid Facebook ads, Google Ad Grant, organic social, and SEO for awareness, engagement, content, subscribe, paid ads, Google Ad Grant, especially conversion design, convert, email, paid ads, conversion design, and enroll a lot of email, and empower is a lot of email. You can use paid ads as well if you have a specific offer, but a lot of email here. So these are how they fill the gaps. Once you understand that, then you just need to prioritize. So you have to go way back. You have your gaps here. You have how all the channels fill the gaps. And then you need to bring those two together to say which gap is the highest leverage gap to fill, and which channel should I use to fill that gap. We have a Google asking what conversion design is. Conversion design is one of those kind of buzzwordy words. It really just means, how do we make a website that is really easy to use and that converts as many people as possible? What converting as many people as possible really means is, how do we get people to take the action we want them to take once they pop on our website, whether that's joining our email list or donating, right? So here's a prioritization. We have a prioritization spreadsheet that we use that I would definitely recommend using. If you email me, I can send you this. But this is a really good way to prioritize which channels to focus on first. And again, to have this documented in one place that you can share with the rest of your team. And the goal is to focus on one or two channels at a time and really clearly prioritize and focus as a one-person team so that you can do the right things. It helps to talk to an expert here too as well, just to get their thoughts on, hey, what should we prioritize now, and does this matrix make sense? Okay, I see some questions about getting the Microsoft or getting the Google and Microsoft ad grants. Oh, thanks, honey. That's great. It's a pretty simple process. You have to get approved for Google for nonprofits through this organization called TechSoup, and then you have to apply for the Google Ad Grant. But as long as you're a 501c3 with a couple other stipulations, super likely to get it. If you have any questions about that, you can email me as well or Candice, and ask us. We love to help people get set up with Google Ad Grant. It's a super high leverage tool. So great. Let me put my email in there. Oh, thanks, Candice. Double posted. All right. So those are the first 3 steps. And to be completely honest with you, those are the most important steps, because what you have now is you're 80% of the way there. You're not all the way to, I know exactly how to do these channels and execute them, but what you know is who you're marketing to, how you want to market to them, and why you made those decisions, which gives you really clear clarity going way back to the map analogy. It gives you a clear path of exactly where you want to go and where you don't want to go. And that's what's most needed from most of the organizations that we talk to, and what's been most helpful is getting that clarity, because once you have that, you can say, I just want to do this and this and this. And then you can learn those things really quickly by talking to experts or by just using the right free resources. But too often we go into free resources without understanding why we want to use those resources. And what happens then is we don't get the most out of them, and we end up stopping and getting overwhelmed early because we don't understand the why behind why we should spend time and resources to learn. So the next piece is execution. How do we execute these channels? Like I said, you're 80% of the way there. You're here on the map analogy. We're almost at time already, so I can't give you. Dodie, shoot me an email asking for website help, and I'll send you a resource that's been super helpful around web design. I can't go into how to do each of these channels, and because all of you are doing different your prioritization exercises will result in focusing on different channels. You all have different goals, and I can't in 15 minutes show you how to do all of these, but hopefully this got you 80% of the way there and clarity on which things to focus on. Here are just some links to resources. Our website, Facebook Ads for Social Impact, has a great course on Facebook ads. Google Ad Grant has their own Google Ad Grant resources. And then obviously our Community Boost Accelerator, which is a 12-month program where we teach you step-by-step all of these tools using courses, one-to-one coaching calls, and a private community with a bunch of other members. So check out that accelerator as well. Chris, we have the SEO course. In the accelerator, if you email me again, I can try to send you a SEO resource. I think Candice, we might have one as well. Some stuff on our Community Boost blog. But this is the executing piece, right? We're 80% of the way there. I don't want to do that webinar thing where I say, oh, it's super simple, just do this and this and this. Oftentimes it takes a lot more nitty-gritty hand-holding or detailed explanations of how to execute these channels. But what you should have now is understanding what you want to execute and why. And after you do that, the next step is obsessively optimize. So we have an optimization checklist here, which is just things to continue to optimize once you have all this stuff built. Try adjusting audiences, always make sure to turn off low performing ads and duplicate and improve the best ones. And always, the key here is just to test, continue to be testing and improving after you've gotten things to start to work. And that's it. That's our framework, our 5-step framework: foundations, mapping your journey, prioritizing, and then actually executing and optimizing. Can we get some thoughts in the chat? How has this been helpful? Do you feel like you're better equipped to get to the right side of that map and be able to prioritize effectively and understand exactly where you want to go as a one-person team? All right, great. And we have some questions as well, which I want to get to now. But this is, oh, sorry, Candace, were you gonna say
Oh
something?
yeah, I'm just popping on. I can help with Q&A, but yeah, it sounds like a lot of this really resonated and is really helpful. Some of it is still a little bit overwhelming, and I think once you dive into it, I would just say like kind of take your time and really think about like what you're like all of these steps that Eric has laid out. I think once you sit down and have it in front of you, like just take it step like Brandy said, baby steps. And there's a lot of ways
Mhm.
that you can work through this and make your marketing more manageable end of day. So Eric,
Exactly.
thank you so much for going through this framework. I love this framework. I think it's super helpful to just really like, you know, set nonprofits, especially small nonprofits, up on a path towards success. And this really does map it all out. So uh,
Yeah.
yeah, there's tons of questions in the Q&A pane. Now's your time. If you have questions for Eric, put them in the Q&A pane. We'll try to get to as many as we can in the next few minutes here. So yeah,
Yeah.
any final thoughts, Eric?
Cool. I want to say quickly, we want to shout out the accelerator. We've been uh, helping nonprofits with marketing for a super long time at Community Boost, and so often we've had the question, I know you can do it for us, but is there any way you can teach us how to do it? I feel overwhelmed by this. I just want someone to help us do it, because I know having that expertise would help us do it more effectively. So that's what we built with our nonprofit marketing accelerator. It's a 12-month program that really teaches you what we talked about in this course, or in this webinar rather, sorry. And it's just a fantastic resource to help you get past that overwhelm and get really clear on what your marketing is. So I definitely recommend applying um, to join if you haven't. And we can help answer the questions we don't answer in the Q&A. But let's dive into Q&A now. Let's see. Candace, do we
And
have any that we want to start? Oh,
there's
sorry.
tons of great ones, but I just wanted to give everyone the opportunity to learn more about the accelerator. So if you'd like to chat with our team, learn a little bit more of the details about how this program can work for you, you can go ahead and just say, yes, I'd love to chat. It's just exploring if this is the right fit for you, but we'll really break it all down for you so you can learn a little bit more about all the different courses you can get access to, as well as the coaching. So I think like the coaching is a big opportunity where if some of this is overwhelming to a lot of you, that's what the coaching is there for. You actually get access to our team of specialists to, you know, really work through all of your questions and make sure that you're on the track to success. So yeah, so I'll just leave this up for a moment as we get into some questions. So drop all of your questions in the Q&A pane. So there's a lot of great ones. I like many of them, but uh Tracy asked, I know you offer marketing support. Is it affordable for a nonprofit with basically no budget? We are in the cycle of no time to fundraise, so no funds to support with this. So
Yeah, that's why we built the accelerator program as a way to be a more affordable option. I don't want this to turn into a full accelerator pitch, but yeah, that's why we built it. It still is a paid program that works out to around $200 to $300 a month, depending. We have a tuition assistance program as well. So maybe that's affordable, maybe it's not. If not, we try to give a lot of free resources as well with Community Boost of our free resources and blogs, and we're always available to help if you want to just shoot us emails with questions.
cool. Thanks, Tracy, for the question. Patty asked, what is a KPI and is a persona a part of this? So any just definitions of KPIs for us?
Yeah, we can't hear more from participants, right, Candace?
I mean, we can ask Patty. Patty, are you here? So, Patty,
Oh, Patty's here. She's here.
perfect. What do you
I'm
want to
just
know from Patty?
I'm curious if you have a little more context, because I can answer the question, but I'm assuming you're asking because are you being held to KPIs, or are you just, you've heard the word before and you're just curious what it means?
Yeah, I think we have some answers in the chat too. Josh said key performance
Just
indicators.
learning about them. Yeah. So KPI stands for key performance indicator, which some people have thrown in the chat. It's part of a framework called OKRs, which is objectives and key results. It's pretty business jargony, but it's from these people who used to work at Google, and they realized that you have to measure what matters in order to manage effectively. So I could talk about it for a really long time. Basically, you set objectives, which are your overall goals, key results, which are what you need to hit as key results to hit your goals, which all have numbers behind them. And then KPIs or key performance indicators give you like a check for how close you're getting to those goals. And if you're, people do red, yellow, or green, which is how, if you're on pace to hit your key results, if you're behind pace, or you're ahead of pace. And based on your KPIs, you can kind of decide like how to steer the ship of your organization. So that's what they're used for. I would recommend the book Measure What Matters, Patty, if you want to learn more about them. It's a really good goal setting framework. Hope that was helpful.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. Yeah, so we had a couple questions come through about like what engagements really look like. So you're talking about like the engagement portion of that framework, right? And engaging audiences. So yeah, can you just like give us like a little bit of a context for what engagements look like and any case studies that you might have?
Yeah. For this, right? The engage piece.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. I'm going to share it again. This, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Again, this depends per organization. I think the key takeaway here is to look at how you're marketing as a human to human relationship, and understand like if you would, engage with someone this way if you were building a relationship with them the same way you're engaging your supporters. So it depends, right? Some orgs bring people in through events, and that's the way they do awareness and engagement and subscription. And they just focus on events. Some organizations are more like a disaster relief or type of organization where the demand is being created outside. People are going to search for you immediately, and they're going to become aware of you through Google Ad Grants. Other organizations, you need to create the demand elsewhere and help convince them that what you're solving is an issue. So it all depends. The key for engagement is engaging with them after they become aware of you for the first time, and making them feel that your organization is valuable enough for them to give you their time and energy in the form of subscribing to you or supporting right away. And so the way you do that mostly is through organic social and content, and through your website. And this is where your website is really important in providing an engaging experience. Think about it from the dating analogy. It's after you talk to someone for the first time, how do you feel like they are a good fit for you and are super excited by that first conversation and want to give them your number to keep talking to them? That's what your website and what your organic social post should do. This goes back to a little bit the persona and understanding their motivations and their evil problem. If you can tell someone, we solve the problem that you think is the most evil in the world, and we do it in a heroic way, right off the bat on your website, in a really simple way that's clear to understand, that's a fantastic way to get someone to engage with you. Does that answer the question, Candace?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'll drop the link in the chat too for more case studies so that you can learn a little bit more about how our other clients have like used different marketing channels to engage their audiences. So awesome. So there's been a few questions actually about ChatGPT. People are asking, can you use ChatGPT to build an email list? So I don't know about this one, but Eric, I would love to hear your perspective of how nonprofits can best leverage ChatGPT?
Wow. That's a big one. There's a lot of ways. I would definitely check it out if you haven't already. We've been playing around with it internally. Yeah, just as ways you can leverage ChatGPT, I think content creation and email marketing are the two biggest ones. Blog writing as well. It's just such a powerful tool to get you started. And I would just play around and really dive in. To answer your question about building an email list, the way we build an email list is getting people to your website and then getting them to convert to join an email list through conversion design, which ChatGPT can't help with right now, but it can help with writing a copy on the emails. It can help with writing a copy on the websites, and some of the other things. It's a deep rabbit hole that we're like continuing to dig down right now and find new use cases. And AI is growing in efficiency really quickly, but that'd be my answer.
Yeah. And that kind of leads into, so if ChatGPT isn't going to help you necessarily build your email list, although it might help you make some really strong content that drives people to sign up for your email, which is great. I would say that the Google Ad Grant is a great way to drive more people to your website that might be searching for those keywords that are related to your organization. And looking to support organizations like yours. So there was a few questions about the Google Ad Grant, one of which is, basically once you get that Google Ad Grant, like what is the next step from there?
Yeah. So like Candace said, fantastic resource, the Google Ad Grant, to get in front of people searching for keywords that would make them seem like the type of person that has intent to support your organization. And then once they get to your website, that's really valuable traffic that you can get to engage and then subscribe to your organization. Do you want me to talk about like next steps on getting the Google Ad Grant set up, or next steps on a supported journey?
Yeah, I think kind of just walking them through maybe even what like the accelerator course like will guide them through
Yeah.
running your first ad campaign.
Yeah. So I can talk about what you need to do to get the Google Ad Grant set up and then how we help. So basically, Google Ad Grants, you need to get set up through TechSoup and get your nonprofit verified. And then you need to apply for Google for Nonprofits, which is basically Google gives nonprofits a bunch of free tools and resources, including the Google Ad Grant being one of them. So once you get approved for Google for Nonprofits, then you can apply for the specific product, the Google Ad Grant. The Google for Nonprofits application takes a little longer. The Google Ad Grant application is really quick. Once you get that, you have your Google Ad Grant account, and then you need to actually get the ad set up, which is actually executing. We help you with that with the accelerator. We have a course that brings you through step by step, like exactly what to do, build an ad grant strategy, and then start executing it. And then we have coaching calls where we'll help you. These are exactly the buttons you should click here and here to get the ad grant set up and running. Those are the first steps in getting it set up. It gets a little more complicated and specific once the ad grant is set up, to like how do you build a strategy and then build your first campaigns and set them live. And I don't think we have enough time to dive into that. But Candace linked some resources that you can get into there.
And we're putting together a whole package of resources for you to go out on that follow-up email tomorrow. So you'll get the whole recording of this, you'll get all of the slides, and a lot of the links and a lot of the questions we'll try to link to all of these really great resources that you can use to really continue learning. But kind of like what Eric said right at the very beginning, you can poke around, do all of these blog posts and access these free resources and get all this learning. But I would really encourage you all to explore the accelerator as well, as it really does like streamline all of this into something that's straightforward, simple. You can take the courses, you can access the coaching and get that help from our team directly as well. So you can go to communityboostaccelerator.org. You can just actually apply right then and there, and we'll just hop on a call with you to explore more about your marketing goals and your organization and how this can be a good fit for you. Yeah, keep on coming to more webinars. There's another one next week on all of the latest email data. There's a big like report that came out from Neon One. They studied like all about nonprofit email marketing and have a lot of really great things to share. So hope to see you next week. And Eric, thank you so much for being here today. This was really awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Candace. Thank you, everyone else. I'm honored that you made the time. I hope this was helpful. If it wasn't, shoot me an email and I'll try to be as helpful as I can. Thank you all so much. This is great. And
Good.
have a great rest of your week. Have a good weekend too.
Yeah, have a good rest
All
of your
right.
day, everyone. Thank you for taking the time and spending this time with us. So
Bye.
see ya.